I know that I can become confident. I just don't know what it is that I need to do. And I have a simple answer for you. However, the simple answers are the ones that people don't want to do. One simple thing would be you need to practice breathing. You need to practice breathing. It's a mindset. Calm yourself down to a state where you can be relaxed. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that I needed to learn how to breathe. And breathing is just a simple matter of you're doing it every day, but you're not doing it in a controlled manner. When you do it in a controlled manner, you get control of your mind, your heart. You're not racing, you're just going through the process. So you just maybe close your eyes, breathe in, hold for a count of 4, and breathe out. And that immediately calms you down. Sometimes we're in such a hurry to accomplish something that we don't do the simple things, things that we know that we need to do. We know that we need to drink water, but I want to say this before I drink the water. And I do that a lot. I need to drink water because my voice starts to crack. So I need to moisture my lungs. Just things like that is the type of questions that this masterclass is going to bring for you. What do you need to do to calm yourself? What should I do if someone is saying something that I don't understand? You are the one that is experiencing whatever it is that you are experiencing. I can give you the example of any sports figure that is well known. They don't just practice the one thing. For example, I just sold a course and the value of the course is $197. And it's just what I just said. It's just telling you that you need to breathe. You need to breathe in order to relax. Oftentimes you get so excited about what you want to say that you lose your breath. You can't think, but you need to take a moment and relax. Now, you're not going to do that in front of the person. It is a habit that you're going to develop. When you develop that habit of breathing, you will do it, just like learning an idiom. Once you've learned what's going on in your neck of the woods, you don't have to think about it. Hey, what's going on in your neck of the woods, Crystal? Either you have an answer or you don't. Either you know what it means or you don't. Those are the types of things that I'm talking about that we do for courses and master classes and in my private Facebook group. The private Facebook group is one where everyone that's in there knows everybody else that's in there. So let's have our class. Again, this class is different from what most of you are accustomed to with me, but I'm here to answer your questions. If you have a tongue, now is the time to speak. Oh my goodness.
Dr.
Asher?
Priscilla, I raised my mechanical or virtual hand in
Okay.
order to ask you if I can make a general question to all my classmates about about how many of them practice meditation. If somebody does, maybe they can explain us how is the technique that they use. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
a proposal.
That's great. That would be great. Raise your hand if you practice meditation.
No, to be honest, I don't practice meditation. Is well, is I think it's a good habit that we have to do. However, if somebody can explain us, it could be better.
Okay, I was looking for my mechanical hand, but I couldn't find it. But I do practice meditation. Okay, Erica, Joshua,
Yeah,
Oliver.
yes, teacher, the same. I don't know if I to practice meditation, but what I do is when in order to calm down my nerves, I try to breathe because you taught me that before speaking, it's difficult for me to speak in front of many people. So sometimes I like, and just then I start speaking or doing whatever I have to do in the moment.
Very good. And that is a form of meditation. Just quiet your body and then do what you need to do. It's nothing magical. It's free. The air that you're taking in, it doesn't cost you anything. It's just a good thing to do. Even if you're not speaking, it's a good thing to do. You could be with your spouse, and sometimes spouses can get on your last nerve. Instead of barking back in a negative way, just take it in and see something else. Visualize something else. Visualize a nice place, and the harshness of the tone of your spouse will not be so harsh. Okay, Joshua?
Yes, is for me practice. That's a great question. This one about meditation. So for me, is always a good advice when you get stressed in some activities, because in order to do that, you can think the ideas better. Some things that we can make for meditation. Sometimes when I get stressed, I usually take a little rest and trying to think the first activities that I have to achieve in order to do it in a correct way. After that, if the time it's not possible to do other things, but maybe I can do it in other days or in other time. So it is necessary to be like a schedule in order to get a plan. What are the principal activities that you have to do first? So for me, it's like that. And maybe when you are in a very stressed way, maybe for me, I recommend maybe go outside of the place where you are and try and maybe to share some moments with the nature or walking or something like that that helps you to visualize and other things. It's my
Very
advice for
good.
you. Yeah.
I totally agree with that as well.
Okay, may I share with you? I don't have a meditation technique, but suddenly when I'm so, I do two things. First, breathe, breathe, but not in with the shoulders up, because that stops the lung working fine. Then we must maintain our shoulders down and then breathe as a technique for singers. And the second, you can visualize a point of light that is running all over your body from the head to the toe. It's another technique to visualize the blood pressure and the air and the in general to get the well-being.
Absolutely. All of that is good. And as you're speaking, notice how the fluency is coming through. That is your goal. Always your goal is fluency. So that is good. Hey, Carla. I didn't see you down there.
Hi,
Hey, Carla.
teacher. Good evening.
It's good to
It's
see
so
you.
good to see you again.
It's good to be here. Okay, thank you for coming. All right. So, guys, a master class can be something that you can do on your own, not on your own, but with people, like-minded people. I don't necessarily have to be here to be the driver as a native English speaker. You have to be willing to talk, which is what your goal is. Now, I want you all to talk, and you can go into a breakout room. One of the things that we could do, Crystal has suggested, so we could create, she didn't say create rooms, but we can create 5 rooms, and maybe room 1 will be meditation, room 2 will be vocabulary, room 3 will be something else, room 4, something else, and you choose which room you want to go in. It could be that no one but you is interested in that thing. So then you need to leave that room and try to find the next thing. How does that sound for you? How does that sound for you? Or what suggestions do you have for master classes?
Yeah, I want to add some things that in master classes, it could be nice to think after taking that master classes, we need to think thinking about some topics that could be interesting for a good debate. Well, I just want to add the about the topic meditations. Maybe when
Mhm.
you feel more challenging in order to meditate is when you maybe uh, have to talk with any client about your work and make
Mhm.
successful purchase or something like that. Or other one
Mhm.
when you need to go to an interview for getting a job or in order to be successful in the interview, you need to take some techniques or strategies in order to be concentrated in what are you are going to say, uh, what posture do you have to do, and that's a great topic, this meditation, because you can focus on different alternatives of your life. Yeah, for master classes, it's necessary to think about some topics, and meditation is one of them. Maybe we can add some
So
topics about,
Joshua,
yeah.
when we choose these particular topics and we get the idea, it is never one and done. Okay, so this is I mentioned about focus on your breathing. If you just do it one time, you will not be ready for the interview. You will not be ready for the person that you meet on the street. You will not be ready for the job interview. You will not be ready for anything. You'll just know. I know someone told me something about breathing. This is something that you do every day. It becomes a habit, but you learn about these things in the master class, or you learn about these things in the courses that you take. The courses just provide you with the information, but it doesn't mean that just because you've done it the day of the course that you're done. For example, you've heard people say, and I've done it too, learn how to speak masterfully and fluently in 7 days. Well, in 7 days, I can teach you what you need to do every day. But if you're only doing it for 7 days, it isn't going to work. This is why people pay 3,000, 4,000, thousands of dollars for something that you almost know, but you are not going to do it. But when you're paying the higher dollars, you have the accountability factor. You have someone that is going to say, okay, now last week we learned how to do this. Do you remember? Uh, it was about something. No, tell me again. And then you do it. But until it becomes a part of you, you forget to do it. And I want to say again, even master sports people who know their skill set, they still have a coach to remind them of of like the soccer player or the gymnast. They don't just have a coach for one day, 1 week. It is forever. Okay. It says a participant set the language to English. I thought I was already reading in English. All right. So that's that's a great point, Joshua. So in this case, as an example, the next time you have a class, someone would go into the class and talk about motivation. What are some things that will motivate me? Well, if I breathe constantly in a systematic way, that might help me stay motivated. If I want to build my vocabulary, what are some things that you can do to build your vocabulary to stay motivated? In some of our previous sessions, we have tried many things: one word, other people's words, games, but we tend to forget what we were used to doing, and we have to go into a group to be reminded. But it's not to be going to the groups to be entertained. So I want you to know that the purpose of the masterclass is not to be entertained. It's not television. It is for you to learn how to do something. Okay, anyone else wish to weigh in on something? And it may be difficult, but there is no dumb question, no crazy question. Just say whatever's on your mind. If you like what you've done before, you can continue doing what you've done before. If you want me to create a particular type of video to help you understand something, let's talk about it first so I can get a viewpoint of what it is that you really don't know. Like we were just discussing hit the hay. It's not that you don't understand hit the hay. Maybe you want to understand the importance of sleep. I don't know, but I'll listen to you. Yes, Augusto?
I want to ask you a question. If in master class you can give us guidelines about how we can exercise passing through tenses. For example, present tense to past tense to future, and how can we
Okay,
exercise that?
Augusto, I'm going to give you an answer, but I can assure you that the majority of you are not going to do it. Because what you're actually asking me is to give you something that is going to be magical that you're going to remember.
This is
Tenses,
grammatic, I think.
that's right. Tenses is grammar. You can go to Google and ask Google, or you could go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to give you examples of the tense, whatever the tense is, going through, and ask it to explain what does it mean. Then ask ChatGPT to give you some questions. And don't give the answers. Then you give the answers. ChatGPT will say this one is correct, this one is incorrect. Ask ChatGPT, why is this one incorrect? Then this is when you would come to a real live person and say, could you explain to me why ChatGPT said blah, 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 blah. But if I tell you that I'm going to give you 5 questions for you to answer, and you answer all of them incorrectly, I'm not able to explain it to you in a way that you're going to understand. So you have to take it upon yourself to learn that. But again, I tell you that you can learn that just by speaking. When you start speaking, don't focus on whether you're saying it correctly or not. Focus on the fact, are you being understood? Does that make sense, Augusto? Because I
Yes,
want you to know, I
thank you.
don't teach grammar, but I do understand it. I understand it enough for me to know that it's not important as long as you're understanding me. If you're writing something, that's different. Then you can go to Grammarly and have Grammarly, that application, read it. Yes, Joshua?
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Sure.
I want to say my 2 cents word about this, and tell Augusto the same. Is what Dr. Priscilla said. Now we know a lot of English, we know a lot of how to express certain ideas. So, Augusto, when you have some doubts about maybe grammatical part or maybe about pronunciation, you know, you need to require to use the technologies that the internet give us. A good example is how Dr. Priscilla says ChatGPT. When you have any doubt and you have a many, a good strategy could be that you write you can jot down your words or your phrases in your notebook or in a book in a notebook, and when you have a certain doubt, you can begin to to interact with ChatGPT. For example, another good idea, there are a lot of maybe some dictionaries that could help you to pronounce certain words that you need to achieve. So the idea for being here is trying to get involved in different topics, different ideas. And what happens when you get involved in that? You might begin to try to tell the concept that you want to tell about the topic. So it forces your mind to speak using different words. Maybe if you don't have the words at the moment, you can use another words in order to explain that. That's the purpose. So being grammatical class, I don't think is the purpose of this. So you can use the technology. Now you know a lot. You know a lot of things, and now you only have to ask ChatGPT how. For example, if you want to know about certain phrasal verbs, you can write it, and after that, try the ChatGPT explain you what the meaning of these phrasal verbs. May I understand?
No, that is not my problem. I want not asking to a grammar lesson here. Only some exercise if the
So
help.
Augusta, so
Thank you.
here it is. Even if you're just asking for exercises, you can go to ChatGPT and master classes has a lot to do with mindsets. Things that it's not about the language, it's not about the vocabulary. For example, if you meet someone and you feel shy, why do I feel shy? That is the question that you want to know. How do I overcome my shyness? Overcoming your shyness is practicing speaking. Here in this master class, you have an opportunity to practice speaking so that when you meet someone for the very first time, oh, it's easy to talk to that person. It has nothing to do with vocabulary. It has all to do with how you feel about yourself. When you feel good about yourself, even if what you're saying doesn't make any sense, you know that you're trying, and most often the person that you're speaking with is going to be tolerant of you. They're not going to say, oh my gosh, here comes that person that can hardly put two sentences together. If you meet someone like that, that is not someone who's going to be a good social person for you to interact with anyway. When you're on your job and your boss tells you that you're not doing a good job, how do you explain to your boss that you're doing the best that you can so you don't get fired? What are you willing to do? You want to let that boss know that you're doing the very best that you can. It has nothing to do with English because you're talking in Spanish. If you're not a good employee, you're not a good employee because you don't know something. I've been fired because I didn't want to do that job and I wasn't going to do it. And so I was fired. But it's not often that one is fired. I was working in a chicken factory and I needed some scissors to cut those chickens. They didn't give me sharp chickens, so I didn't cut the chickens and they told me to go home. So I lost that job. I got another one though. So the master class is designed. Let me see if I'm sharing my screen now.
Thank you, teacher.
Well, I wasn't finished with you, Augusta. I'm going to share my screen. Share my screen.
Crystal was raising her hand, teacher.
Okay, go ahead, Crystal. Crystal, what is it?
Yes, I have a question for you, but it's not the same topic. I
Go ahead.
wanted to I wanted to ask you how how much time do we have to practice English per day? What do you think? And do we practice? Can you hear me?
I can. So, hold on. Let me write this while I answer. That relates to any tense. Okay, so Augusta, you can go to ChatGPT and ask, please give me 15 questions that relates to any tense. Do not provide the answers. Okay, so Crystal, that's a great question. And it is the type of question that people ask. So I'm going to give you an example, and then you can tell me whether you can see how there is no right or wrong answer to whatever I say. So I'm going to stop sharing. Email my grandbaby peas in his pamper, and I have to change it. If I only have 3 Pampers, I only have 3, and he doesn't do a boo-boo, but I've got 24 hours to use these 3 Pampers. Typically, I change his pamper every 2 hours because we have an abundance of Pampers. So if I change his Pampers every 2 hours, in a 24-hour, he can have worn 12 Pampers in a day, right? But if I only have 3 Pampers, I can't change every 2 hours. I might have to change every 3 hours or 4, something like that. Now, your question is, how many hours do I suggest that you study per day to become fluent in English? Do you want to become fluent like Chetna? Or do you want to become fluent like someone who can't speak at all? Do you understand my question? So a lot has to do with how much money you have, how much time you have, how important it is to you, what is your why? If you just want to do it, I can't tell you that if you spent 30 minutes a day for 3 months, you will be fluent. Half of those 30 minutes is you're doing something else. You're cooking dinner. You're not focused on English. You're just all over the place.
Depends what I want to do.
So you can't put a time on it because it's different for everybody. It's including you. Chetna, because we know Chetna, she told us that she spends like 6 hours a day on learning. And I believe she's very focused while she's learning. You see how I'm learning Spanish? Well, if I'm not with email, I'm not learning Spanish because it's not that important to me. I can say that I'm learning, it goes across my head, but I'm not focused on learning Spanish. So there is no magic, but my promotion says that you can learn in 60 days, I believe it says 60 days, you can become fluent in English. And you can. You can become fluent in English. I'm not trying to sell you all anything. Augusto, did you see the thing that I posted? So you could do things like this without a teacher. Share my screen. There is no quick answer to anything that you all are doing. 10 questions. So I just want to be honest. Have you sure, here are 15 questions related to various tenses. What will you be doing at this time tomorrow? What tense is this? When did you first learn to play the guitar? Augusta. You don't know.
Future.
Okay. What is the answer for each of the above? Okay. So let's see what ChatGPT says. Okay. So let's say it said it could be any. So let's put could number 1 be future tense? Absolutely. So yay, you know that one. Then ask why is it future tense so that you can understand it. Now ChatGPT say it's not explicitly in future tense. It's asking about a future activity, but phrasing itself isn't strictly in the future tense. The word what will you be doing at this time tomorrow implies a future action. Asking about a specific something, something, something. You will be doing something in the future. Then I don't understand this answer, so I'm going to say, I want to understand what it means to be in future tense and give me an example. Now you have to know how to ask the question. So it says, for example, let's take the sentence. She will go to the party tomorrow. Will go indicates the future tense. You have to know that will go means future tense. She is the subject. She. And I would do this with a colored pencil. I'd highlight my subject in blue, underline will go in green. To the party tomorrow. We know that tomorrow is not today, it is in the future. So we know that the verb will go signifies the action going to the party will take place in the future. Now, I'm not taking the time to teach that to you, but this is how you would learn. And this is why if I were teaching it, you would be paying me to teach it to you. And that's grammar. I don't teach you grammar. So I'm going to show you mastery of English. And some of you may have seen this, but I'm not trying to sell this. I'm just showing you that if you want to learn something, it says how to learn real English and talk live like a native speaker in just 90 days. Well, you're not going to be able to speak like a native in 90 days, to be honest. But I'm going to give you the tools, the techniques, and the strategies, the structure, like breathing. When you have all of those things, you'll be able to do it in 90 days. But most people take 120 days and they join the membership. They join other things so that, what did she say I need to do on day one? Okay. Jose, go ahead.
Teacher, thank you for the opportunity. I think we are on the same page because everybody are talking about how many hours we have to study English, and also I have a little question in order to be more specific regarding how is the structure to learn English, because I was reading this book. I don't know if everybody can see it. It's regarding take advantage of the hour, because we have, all of us have only 24 hours per day. However, we have to distribute in different things, as you said. I think, I was wondering, how can I distribute my time in order to, how many time in speaking, how many time in reading, in listening, and also, as you said, in reading. This technique, it's supposed, if we have, for example, minimum, how many hours or how many time minimum we have to learn. Could be 1 hour every day, 30 minutes every day. I don't know how can I distribute my time.
That's time management. That's time management. So you set up a schedule. I'm going to get up every morning at 7 o'clock, get dressed for school. You already do it, Jose. You do it with your running. You have a set time that you get up and you do this thing, and you do it. No, come what may, you're going to be walking, or you're going to be running. You're going to be doing whatever you have set up as your structure. So you have your accountability set in. Most people, the majority of people don't do that with English because they think, oh, this is so boring. I just watched this TV program. Uno, seco, cuatro, not cuatro, tres, cuatro. How many times have I said that again and again and again and again and again? Or how many times do I say to my family, I love you, I love you? It's almost like it's just meaningless, but I need to say it because if I stop saying it, I will stop saying it. So again, it's up to the individual. I cannot tell you how many times you need to say to your spouse, I love you. I don't need to say to Asher, you need to remind your wife that you enjoyed that coffee that she made for you. You have to want to do that. It's something that you have to want to do, and you just do it. It is no magic number. Some people can do it in 10, some people can do it in 100. It's just like me trying to build my 4,000 hours. Some people will say that they watched, but they didn't. And it's okay. I know that they wanted to, but they didn't. So you just do what you can. And once you see that you're making progress, you'll see that you're making progress. I got lots of tips from Crystal about what I should and could do. And I can't do all of them, but I'm doing something. Every day I'm doing something. I'm doing something with my YouTube channel. So I'm not forgetting it. I'm trying to take you off of the spotlight now, but I can't find the button. So there is no, if anyone is giving you a number, there is no magic number. There is no magic number for anyone. It's up to you. But having a WhatsApp group or a, what is it that I have? Timeline? Whatever it is that you have. I have a group too, but they don't come on here unless I'm on here, which means they're not learning as much as they could because they're not putting effort into it. So as you're learning how to compete in a marathon, most likely, I hope you are the winner, Jose, but most likely you will not be the winner. But if you are the winner, it is because you were just that focused and the passion and the desire was there. And for someone who wants to sound native and have a huge vocabulary and be able to speak with fluency, they have to have that focus and accountability. And your WhatsApp group, Crystal's WhatsApp group is your accountability group. You have to go there if no one else goes. And then when people see that you're consistently coming, then someone else will consistently come. But there are a zillion people in this universe, and there aren't many people like you. So when you find that one person like you, and that one person like you finds another person like him, and he finds someone like her, blah, 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 that's when your group grows. That's when your group grows. And what I believe about YouTube is YouTube will see that 4,000 hours have watched the YouTube channel. Then YouTube is going to tell people that I have no way of knowing. And out of those zillions of people, 10 people are going to like what they see. And eventually 10 more people will like what they see. And that's when you get all of those views on a video. I don't know if I answered your question, Jose. If I didn't, ask it again. Joshua?
Yes,
Definitely.
excuse me. This topic is a great question. Talking about how a person could be fluency in certain time.
Fluent.
Is like
a person could be fluent in a certain time.
Yeah, a person that could be fluent in that certain time. So, as you say, it is not. Maybe you have an schedule, but you have the strategies, you have the techniques for reading, for writing, for listening, from speaking. But each day is different, and maybe some days you feel motivated, and other days you don't feel motivated. So maybe at certain point of your hard working on this language, you maybe feel little exasperated or frustrated because you are thinking, oh, I am doing all the activities all the days, but I don't think that I can achieve my goals. So, but that's the way that some points that Dr. Priscilla said us help us to continue our language journey in learning this language. So is when you, for example, Jose Carlos, you are preparing for running, but maybe you can think not all the days that you're running doing in the same way. Maybe some days you feel more tired than others.
Like the day that you didn't get up and go, you stayed in bed.
Yeah, maybe some days you feel like, oh, I need to take a rest, but I have to continue. But you can do it because your body is stressed in some way. If something happens to our minds, at certain point, you study, doing activities, and your mind gets stressed and can't absorb anything. So that's the reason that maybe some techniques like take a deep breath, feel motivated. With what? With maybe with certain book, for example, on reading, trying to read books that you need to get the information that are useful for you. No, maybe you don't like to read tales, but on the other hand, you like to read economics topics. In that way, if you,
Or I can say, Joshua,
yeah, yeah,
if
teacher.
you just like, I don't want to do anything, but you must do something, just pick up a book, whatever you see, and just say, I'm going to read one page. Just read one page so that you stay committed. No, it's not going to extend you any further, but it helps you remain committed. Or I don't want to do anything, but I'm going to get on WhatsApp and say hello to my group. Just say hello to your group. You will inspire someone else. And when someone else reads what you read, like, oh yeah, I forgot. Before hitting the hey, I need to blah, 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 blah. And then someone might say something back to you, but you have to just, every day at 4 p.m., I have an accountability group for teaching.